I got to do this. This morning, I got to get everyone excited. I missed some football, but we got a lot of folks in the house. This song comes on before a lot of games. Can you tell me, can you show me, what do people do when this song comes on? Maybe I need to get it louder. They first start clapping. Can I get a clap? But they don't just clap, they stand up. Can I get everybody to stand up with me? We're about to have a good time. That's right. Now, I want you to give everybody a high five next to you. Give everybody a high five. That's right. High five, everybody. That's right. That's right. High five. We're about to have a good time. About to have a good time. All right. All right. Go ahead and have a seat. Go ahead and have a seat. All right. We're about to have a good time. But let me reintroduce myself, okay? Again, my name is Demoine Adams, but I don't want you to call me by my real name today. I want you to call me by my cool name, what my teammates used to call me, what my friends call me, and that's Demo. So on the count of three, I want everybody to say, "What's up, Demo?" 1, 2, 3. There we go, there we go. Before I get started, I got to give some special shout outs to a few people. First, the FCCLA crew. Can you make some noise, FCCLA that's in the house? And again, they are the ones that are responsible for bringing me here. I spoke to the entire state of FCCLA students in the fall, and we had a great time. And they wanted to bring me here so that we can have a great time. They stand for a lot of great things, from character to discipline, leadership, education, but most importantly, career education. Because as you just heard, once you see where you're going, then everything you do must correspond with where you're going, whether that's to teach people, to help people, to fix people, to work with things, to work with animals, to work outdoors, indoors, numbers, science. It doesn't matter. We all have something that we can work with. So this morning is not just a school assembly. This is not a presentation. This is a pep talk, and this is the locker room. Because we got a lot to talk about, because first and foremost, I need for everybody to know that you all have this thing, I like to call this thing called game. Turn to your neighbor and say, "I got game." Turn to the other neighbor and say, "I got game." Every one of you, from my 8th graders at the top, make some noise, 8th graders. All the way to my 9th graders, make some noise, 9th graders. Even my 10th graders, make some noise, 10th graders. All right, where my juniors at, juniors. And then last but not least, my seniors, make some noise, seniors. I love it, I love it, I love it. But I know I'm going to get a lot of love for our visitors here. Can I hear some noise from my Cougars in the house? My Cougars. Make some noise, Cougars. No, that's not good enough. Make some noise, Cougars. All right. So I love what we already got going on. We got the Cardinals, we got the Cougars, and right here, this is teamwork. Teamwork works. But there's something that's working that I want to talk about. First, start talking about, you know, there's a lot of hype these days around a lot of things. For example, we got any Fortnite people in here? Fortnite? Yeah. So, my son, who's 7 years old, his name is Lennox, and he watches a lot of YouTube. And for a long time, he would always YouTube these Fortnite dances. Now, I always get on him like, why are you always watching YouTube? But I want to spend some time with him. So I sit there and I'm watching all these little characters. I mean, from the hype to the Orange Justice to the little Snoop Doggy Dogg. And I thought it was pretty cool. So even though he's 7, I had to give him a little Xbox for Christmas just so that I can learn how to play, not to like fight and kill stuff, but to simply make him dance. There's a lot of hype around Fortnite. I think it's pretty cool. There's also a lot of hype around music. In My Feelings by Drake. Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. And so my son, again, what I do, he follows. Because he's a cool guy, because he has a cool dad. So when I drop him off in the mornings, every morning we're listening to some music. And what I listens to, he listens to. When I'm doing my hair like this, he's in the back doing his hair like this. And when you think of the song Sicko Mode, again, he's 7. He's innocent. So the part where it goes out like a light, out like a. So he has no idea what that means. He thinks it's time to go night-night. So at nighttime, that's like our cue. Like, all right, Lennox, out like a night. Out like a light. He's like, hey, and turns off the light. But also this morning, we didn't get a chance to have our traditional wake-up call. You know, it's hard to get kids up in the morning. It's hard to get them ready to go to school. And so there's a show that comes on at 7 a.m. It was my favorite show when I was a kid. And it still comes on to this day, but it comes on Nickelodeon. And with this show, there's always a song that starts the show off, that gets that show hyped up and ready to go. Now, I feel like I still need to wake some people up. And I think I need a little help from somebody to help sing this song that starts this show off. Because you're about to get a show. But I've been told that there is a teacher here who's a pretty cool teacher that I would like to bring up. I hope that he likes this show. So can I have Mr. Coach Cook to come on up to the front? Where's Coach Cook at? Where is it? Out there. That's it. Come on up here. Come on up here. All right. So again, this is all about getting you hyped, right? And so, yep, come on up stage. You're going to get the mic. Coach Cook. So Coach Cook, I'm Demo. What's your cool name? CC, C2, C to the second. Melvin. I'll take Melvin. Okay, all right. All right, so Coach Cook, there's a show that still comes on Nickelodeon. It came on when I was a kid. And there's a song that comes on before the show. Now, the cool thing is, this isn't a singing song. It's a rap. And I want to play this song. And my hope is that you know the lyrics to this song, because you look like you are Generation X, Generation Y. Okay, all right. Now, again, I don't want Coach Cook to be embarrassed, all right? So here's what I'm going to do. To be fair, just to be fair, Coach Cook, well, how about you bring up a student to help you? One student. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you the mic. And you're going to stand next to Coach Cook. I need for you guys to hold it together as you all are getting ready to get everybody hyped up. So when I play this, again, I need for you to get everybody alive when I play this song right here.
Told you.
This is all you.
You have to do it too.
I don't know it. All right.
And what? All about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Now I'd like to tell you this.
Keep going. I don't know it.
The developmental layer.
Watch it. I may be the one person that doesn't know it. You know it. I don't know it. I never watched it.
Okay, all right. So, if they can't sing it, they need to dance to it, right? So, how about we sing it and you dance. It's one or two. And I think it's, all right, here we go. So we're going to start this thing over, and we're going to sing it, they're going to dance. All right, here we go. Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute and sit right there. I tell you how I became a prince above Palm Town. So far, so, I'm not seeing you move. I'm not seeing you move. A little something. Hey, let's clap, everybody. Let's get in it. That's right. Three, two, one. In West Philadelphia, bowling range, and the playgrounds where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, relaxing, I'm cooling on, shooting some b-ball outside of school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got one little fight. Okay, all right, let's give them a round of applause. Thank God right there. All right. Now, I think we got some energy. I think we are all hyped up. You know, something else that gets my son, Lennox, hyped up is music. We both like music. We like to listen to a lot of different types of music. Sometimes we like to YouTube certain songs so we can see what these musicians look like. I had no idea Post Malone had all of those tattoos. I mean, it's like some crazy videos out there. But he's 7. He doesn't know what certain things mean, but there was a night when my wife was making some cookies. And as she's making some cookies, Lennox and I, this is a Friday, we're doing our traditional YouTube, watching Fortnite dances and looking up videos. But then the oven goes off. Lennox is excited, runs into the kitchen. He's waiting next to the oven, about to get some cookies and waiting on my wife to get in there. As soon as my wife gets in, of course, you know, she grabs her little mitten, opens up the door, and as she's getting ready to bend over and take out the cookie tray, Lennox, with a smile on his face, slaps her on the butt. And then he says, "Mommy, you got a bright future behind you." And Lennox thought that was pretty funny. He thought it was pretty cool. But my wife didn't think that was so funny. My wife turned to Lennox and said, "Lennox, where did you get that from?" Because my wife knew where this song came from. And Lennox, do you know he smiled and looked at me, Daddy? I was guilty. I was guilty for exposing them to things that I didn't realize was sinking in. I didn't think that he understood these things, but he thought those behaviors were normal. He saw it in a video. He saw other people doing it, and guess what? Other people were liking it. Those words that he said, he got that from the lyric of a song. He thought it was okay. So I had to sit down with him and have that moment with him. And I did think it was funny, by the way. But I had to have that moment and sit down and say, "Hey, buddy, you know, I know these videos we're watching, these songs, we probably need to lay off of some of this stuff because I know you thought it was funny. I know you think certain things are cool, but just because it's cool doesn't mean that it's right." And I had to have that moment because if I did not have that moment, he would have took those behaviors, those thought processes, those beliefs that certain things like that was okay. And he's in the classroom and the teacher is writing an algebra problem and she drops the pen. Lennox, wanting to be that funny guy, runs up to the front of the room. "Oh, Mrs. Roberts, you got a bright future behind you, woman." But that behavior probably would have gotten him suspended. But what if he continued to grow up and the things that he sees and reads and hears, and he thinks it's okay to begin to call other girls, not by their real name, but by the names that he's hearing in the music. And then he thinks it's okay to break the law, be disrespectful, not listen to teachers because he sees a lot of other people being disrespectful, not respecting the president or just breaking the rules and thinking that violence, anger, that's what makes you the bigger person. But we all understand that certain behaviors, certain choices lead to consequences. And maybe Lennox, even though he's a smart kid, he would not have gotten to that place of reaching his full potential just because of everything that he sees, reads, and hears. There's a lot of hype when it comes to social media, when it comes to music, when it comes to the videos, and when it comes to even the movies that we watch, and we get so caught up in the hype, but there's not enough heart, there's not enough love, there's not enough respect, there's not enough leadership because there's too many people busy being followers instead of leaders. But I'm not here today to talk about the hype. We're going to talk about the hype, but the goal when you leave here with this pep talk is to learn how can I put more heart over the hype? Because that is what builds your leadership. That is what builds your character. That is what will help you to go far and to reach your full potential, is to do things not because everybody else is doing them, because all that does is make you a follower. So my question to you is today, are you a leader or are you a follower? And a couple of things about being a leader and a follower. If you are following more people than the people that are following you, it kind of makes you a follower. Or should I say, what types of things do you post? Who do you follow? Who do you like? What are they influencing you to do? What do you influence other people to do? You see, I got a little message on Facebook the other day congratulating me for being on Facebook for 3 years. I know I got in the game a little later, but I wasn't a big social media fan, but a lot of hype around social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Snapchat. So if you are on social media, like me. Be my friend. Find me, follow me. Because I chose 3 years ago to join social media simply because I understand that we live in a generation of hype. We live in a generation where people think that they can do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say, and treat people however they want to treat people and have no regard or respect for anybody, and that's okay. Because others make it normal. So I wanted to change the game. I wanted to get on Instagram, on Facebook, to Twitter, to show people of what it means to be positive instead of being negative, or what it means to do the right thing instead of the cool thing, or what it means to truly encourage someone, to build someone up instead of put somebody down. One Facebook, one Instagram. I don't have 2 to 3 Instagrams so that I can hide myself and be like this invisible mean ghost to call people out just because I think it's funny. And I think a lot of us, we think these things are funny because we think they're normal. But just because it's cool doesn't mean that it's right. And I believe that my presence on social media is to create leaders. Because that's what leaders do. Leaders don't create followers. Leaders create leaders. And so you got to ask yourself, am I a follower or am I a leader? Am I a winner or am I just a pretender? And I want to help you to understand what it means to put your heart over the hype, but what it means to be winners in this game called life, because I understand it's cold outside, it's February, and we still got work to do. So the first thing I want to talk about is reminding you of your game. All of you have game, but all of you have leadership. So repeat after me. Everyone has leadership. The difference is how you use it. Can we make some love for your amazing teachers in the house? Now, I think love is a little louder than that. Love is more exciting. When you love someone, you're smiling and say, oh, good. Hey, let's show some love to your amazing teachers that are in here. From the Cardinals even to the Cougars. We got some amazing teachers in here. Teachers that believe in your game. Your game is your ability. Your game is your potential. Your game is your talent. That's your thing. That's your strength. And when you focus on your game and you bring your A game by giving 100%, giving it your best, guess what? Strong effort leads to strong results. But I need for you to understand the game that you play. I played a lot of football. And to play football, there's one thing that helps you to play the game, and that's having a football. And the concept of football is simply there's a goal. And the goal is for somebody to have this football to get to that goal, and that goal represents the touchdown. The more touchdowns you get, the more points you get. So this is where I believe that if you believe in your game, your actions will follow your beliefs. I don't think a lot of people believe of this thing called education, especially what your amazing teachers are doing every single day. Because if school was like the game of football, your teachers would be the quarterbacks. And your teachers work really, really hard to make sure that they take care of the football, that they come up with different plays and they have a playbook because they're trying to set up their students to score. Because it's their job to help you to be winners in school so that you will eventually be winners in life. So your teachers are throwing you the ball. That's your education. And what does that education represent? It represents that math and science and English, reading, history, PE, music, art, social studies, foreign language, ACT, SAT. These are all the footballs that you are responsible for receiving. And it's up to you to focus on what really matters, because this is what makes you a winner. This is what helps you to score, because without this football, how can you be a winner in school? How can you be a winner in life if you don't come to school believing that this thing is important? Your actions follow your beliefs. So if you don't believe that school is important, you're going to act like it. But better yet, if you don't believe that you have what it takes, you're going to act like you don't have what it takes. But I need for everyone to understand that everyone has leadership, but the difference is how you use it. One of the ways that you use your leadership, that you build your game, you build yourself up, is to have a will. And as a kid, I'm thankful that I had a will. And as a kid, I was a first-generation student. Neither of my parents went to college or graduated. Wasn't the smartest kid. I grew up having a stuttering disorder. So I was put in these special ed classes that didn't make me feel so special, let alone having a stutter. Kids picked on me, and they laughed at me, and they bullied me. They thought it was okay. And so recess, the time when you have fun, I spent my time in the bathroom hiding because I didn't want to get picked on. I didn't want to get laughed at. And to make matters worse, when I would have to leave class to go and work with that teacher to help me with my stutter. It wasn't a fun time. But I'm thankful for those teachers, because those teachers, they gave me a sense of hope. They built my confidence. They helped me to be resilient. They gave me the will to get better. And that will is what helped me not to quit, not to give up, but to believe in my potential, to believe in my game. And if I brought my A game every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, all you can do is get better. All you can do is get closer to that goal. Because that's the one thing about the game of football, is that you may set a personal goal, but along the way you may get tackled with bad news. You may get knocked down with discouraging results. You may get hit with somebody calling you something or making you feel bad or emptying your bucket, spilling your bucket. But what do? You can either focus on what has happened, but winners don't focus on what happened. Winners focus on what happens now. And I'm thankful that those teachers, even when they were throwing me those footballs of math, I may drop the football, I could focus on what happened, and I can stop trying. I can give up. I can say I don't have what it takes. I'm going to quit school. I'm not going to give my best. or I can have the attitude of a winner. I can try again and pick it back up. Yes, I was getting tackled a lot in my background. But getting tackled in school is not a sign for you to quit. Getting tackled in life is not a sign that you don't have what it takes. Getting hit, receiving bad news, not getting the results that you want on those tests, on those exams, on the ACT, is not a sign for you to give in, give up, and give out on your dreams and your goals. No, winners don't focus on what happened. Winners focus on what happens now. That's the will. And if you ever want to get better at something, the question is, will you work harder? Will you get a tutor? Will you study? Will you study more? Will you put down that phone so that you can spend more time learning about the concepts instead of those Fortnite dances? That's the will. And that will is what helped me when I got to high school. I wanted to go to college, to be the first to go to college, but you got to take this thing called the ACT. And first time I took it, students, being honest, I got a 13. And that 13 was not enough for me to go to a 4-year school to play football. But I'm thankful that those teachers, not only it was their job to throw me those footballs, but if I was dropping the footballs or if I couldn't catch it, it's also their job to be your cheerleader, to push you, to give you that confidence that you can do it. I believe in you. Don't give up. You see, teachers have a lot of heart because teachers are unconditional, whereas fans, most of your friends, are conditional. They're all about the hype. When you're wearing certain clothes and maybe you're acting a certain way or you're doing everything that everybody else is doing just so that you can fit in, when you're a part of the hype, oh, it makes you cool, it makes you somebody. But what happens when you're not somebody because you fail or you don't have those clothes or you're not as cool as others or you don't make the team or you don't make that club? When you're not a part of the hype, that doesn't make you like everybody else. What do? When people cheer and they support you on a conditional basis, based on how it makes them feel or how it makes them look. That's why I appreciate the teachers that are in here, teachers all across this state, all across this nation, because teachers are unconditional. Teachers are cheerleaders because cheerleaders are trained to cheer for their team on an unconditional basis, whether they're winning or whether they're losing. Whether they're doing their best or whether they're doing their worst, whether they're on top or whether they're on the bottom. And there were many times when I was losing, many times that I was not getting to where I wanted to get. But that 13, I could have said, man, what happened? Maybe this is a sign that I should not pursue my dream. But those teachers gave me the will to remind me, you got game. Keep bringing your A game. What happens now? And what happens after that? I took the ACT again and I got a 15. I took it again and I got a 16. I took it again and I got a 16. I took it again, I got 16. That's 5 times, students. I'm getting tackled. I'm getting knocked down. I'm not getting the results that I want. But the one thing that I want to encourage you with, as you finish up this month of February and you go into March, April, May, maybe some of you feel like you're tired, you're getting tackled. How am I going to achieve these goals when I'm struggling? How can I finish? That's when you have to have that resilient attitude as a winner, because winners never quit and quitters never win. And if you truly want to reach your full potential, you never stop trying. I could have stopped, but I kept taking it again. That 6th time, I got an 18. And that 7th time is what allowed me to get that 21 to go to college, the first to go to college in my family. Do you see, I was not born to be a leader, but something about leadership, if you have it, you got to build it. You got to work on it every single day, your effort, your focus, your attitude. You win or you lose by how you choose. So what are you choosing to do every single day? Are you choosing to win? Are you choosing to compete, not against the person that's next to you, but your competition is you versus you every single day. When you look in the mirror, that's your competition. Because when it comes to winning, I know they say there is no I in win. I'm sorry, they say there's no I in team, but there is an I in win. You are responsible for putting that I in your win by setting those personal goals and achieving those personal goals, because guess what? It's the will that helped me to be the first to go to college. But also, when I got to college, which was the University of Nebraska, they said I was too short, I was too small, I didn't have what it took. And it was distracting. It discouraged me because there were other players that were bigger and taller than me. And it kind of put my focus on what I didn't have, my weaknesses, what was wrong with me. But I'm thankful for those coaches, those cheerleaders, those positive role models in my life. Not the hype. The hype said that I would never start. The hype said that I would never be successful at a 4-year school with a 2.5 GPA from high school. But when you have that will, Demoine, will you work hard? Will you be in the weight room? Will you eat chicken without the fried stuff? Will you eat baked beans without all of that butter? Will you go to school? Will you ask for help? That will is what allowed me to still not only start at Nebraska, but to be a 3-year starting defensive end, leading the team in sacks, taking our team to the Big 12 championship, and even to the National Rose Bowl National Championship my junior year. Now, let's not talk about the results of that game. But the fact is, I was able to reach my full potential, not because of the hype, but because of the heart. I put my heart over the hype, because the hype can sometimes be negative. The hype can tell you you don't have what it takes. You're too short, or your background, your parents didn't go to college, you can't go to college. They can tell you and limit you, but your will, that is the resiliency. When you have a will, that Nebraska, even though I didn't get drafted, is what gave me the opportunity to get to the Green Bay Packers. How did that happen? You didn't get drafted, Demo. Well, I didn't let that determine my story. You see, sometimes life may give you a period, but your will is what gives you a comma. And my will, despite those periods, despite them saying you don't have what it takes, my will, no, I'm going to keep this thing going. When Tennessee didn't work, guess what? I didn't give up on my dream. And I continued, because that's what winners do. You don't give in, give up, and give out. There's this thing called resiliency, and that resiliency comes from the heart, but it's also a choice. You have to choose to compete, to be the best that you can be, not to get by, but to get better. Not to come to school and get the job done, but you have to have an attitude that I'm going to come to school and get the job won. That's when you put your heart over the hype. So if there are any of you in here that maybe, just maybe, we can relate. Maybe you're not in the top half of your class rank. Maybe you didn't do good on your ACT. Maybe you're not as good as in math as you are in English, and you're dropping the ball, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to finish the school year? It's the teacher's fault. No. You must put that I in win with your will. Have the will. Will you choose to get better? Will you? You can focus on what happened, but winners always focus on what happens now. Second thing, repeat after me. Leadership is about one thing. Influence. I believe that all of you have a certain influence. But I think most of us are being influenced by the hype. And how can we set personal goals for ourselves when we're too busy focusing on other people? You know, that's a mistake. If you don't set personal goals for yourself, you're going to find yourself comparing yourself with other people. And you will never reach your full potential, build the muscle that you need for your leadership, for your life, if you're too busy seeing, reading, and hearing everything that is out there, instead of focusing on what's real about you. But I also believe that there's a lot of hype around being a bigger person. And we think that to be the bigger person is to be funny, to be cool, to put other people down, to make other people laugh by making somebody else cry. Is that really a good hype? But it's normal. We see so many people doing it, but just because it's cool doesn't mean that it's right. You see this trophy right here? This is the trophy that I got when I was in college. The lifter of the year, which goes to the strongest football player who demonstrated leadership in the weight room. Now, to me, I thought this trophy simply meant I needed to be the strongest and the biggest. So I spent a lot of time working hard, building up my bench press and my squat, my power clean, my deadlift, so that I can have the muscles, the chest, because I thought maybe this would make me a leader. If I was to get this thing right here, if I was to show others how strong I am, that I'm the big person, that would give me leadership. And I did this every year. I got stronger, I got bigger, I got better, but I never got voted to receive this trophy because the players voted for who they felt was the lift of the year. But it wasn't until my junior year, I'm bench pressing around 450 pounds. I'm squatting around 500 pounds. I'm power cleaning around 315 pounds, and I'm still not the lift of the year. And so I sit down with the strength and the conditioning coach, and I'm asking them, what more can I do to show others that I am a leader, that I am the man around here? And that's when he told me that you're doing all of the things that we're asking you to do. You're putting in a lot of hard work, but where's your heart work? How do you treat others when you come to school? How do you help others in the weight room? Are you in there getting stronger? Or are you helping your teammates get stronger? You're lifting a lot of weight, but how much time do you spend lifting others, helping others to get stronger, helping others to get better? Do you spend time not only just with those starters, but what about those underclassmen, those younger players? Because to be the lifter of the year, are you being a lifter of others? And he was right. Because the strongest muscle was one of my weakest muscles, and that was my heart. I wasn't exercising my heart, and the heart is the heart of leadership. You see, leadership is like a muscle. And the more you exercise it by using it, by being kind, by being respectful, by including others, by supporting others, by helping others, that is what builds your leadership. And I wasn't a leader on the team. Yes, they knew that I was one of the strongest, but that didn't make me the lifter of the year. Because what gives you respect is when you give respect. So ask yourself, what does your respect look like? If there was a survey to go around in your school, Cougars, what would students say about you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being poor, 10 being your respect level is excellent. What would they say? How would they rate your respect level in terms of how you treat others, your kindness, your support, your unconditional love toward others? Or better yet, on social media, do people only respect you because you do drugs and you get high and you're ugly and you're mean and you think that's okay and you think that is what makes you the bigger person? No. Because we can all be lifters in this game called life. We can all be a lifter in the classroom, a lifter in the hallway, a lifter at recess, a lifter on our social media. But to make us that lifter, it's about how we treat others. Being a bigger person has not anything to do with your grades, your class rank, the clothes you wear, your status, or your gossip. We think these things make us the bigger person, but to be the bigger person is to be the better person. So what are you willing to do to be the lifter in your school, to be the lifter of your life? Not by what you get, but by what you give. Because the best things in life are not things. The best things in life are people. It's how you treat people that gives you that muscle of leadership, that builds your character instead of your reputation. And when we put more heart work with our hard work, this is what makes us the lifter of our life. You see, leadership is the #1 characteristic that careers are looking for, scholarships, colleges. So when you think about what do I need to focus on in terms of the choices that I make, it's building your leadership. because there's too much hype around doing what everybody else is doing instead of doing what you need to do to reach your full potential. I reached my full potential, students, not because I was focusing on what everybody else was doing. I focused on my game. And here I am doing what I love to do every single day simply because I made the choice not only to put in a lot of hard work, but heart work makes a difference. We need to change the game, students. And we all have a platform of influence, starting with this thing right here. What if we were to change the game today? We take a few pics afterwards, and we give shout-outs to the Cardinals for hosting today. We give a shout-out to the Cougars for coming over today. Hashtag heart work. Hashtag heart over hype. We are putting love out there. We're putting respect. We're letting other people know that, hey, just because they may be at a different school doesn't mean that they're our opponent. They're not our competition. The competition is you. You win or lose by how you choose. And we can choose to change the game by what we post, what we like, what we do not follow, what we do not tag. Because what they see is what they get. So for my leaders in here, you think that you are a leader? I hope that you're using your role to be a role model, athletes. FCCLA, I hope that you always remember that you are a role model, an example. And what they see is what they get. But also choices. They give you chances, but they also give you consequences. And I'm saying that is because, for some reason, getting high is just like smoking cigarettes. And then also there's this cutting corner of doing vaporing, and you think that vaporing is not smoking cigarettes, it's not getting high, and it's okay. But if you're not taking care of your body, how can your body take care of you? I didn't get high or do drugs as an athlete when I was in school. And I think I still turned out to be a pretty cool dude. And I think a lot of us, we think that if we do what the hype is about, we fit in. But all it takes is one poor choice to mess up everything you worked so hard for. And this goes out to all my 4.0 high class rank, Under Armour, or whatever it is that you think makes you the bigger person. All it takes is one poor choice to mess up your full potential. One choice can put something permanent on your record, and you will not have that opportunity to be that teacher or to be that mechanic or to do whatever it is that you want to do. Yes, I understand that sometimes you will get knocked down and tackled. That's life. Life will give you a period. But sometimes people choose to put periods in their life. For example, I played with a lot of football players that had a lot of talent, funny guys, great teammates, got their college degrees. But they thought that it was okay to get high, to do drugs, because that was the thing, that was the hype. They put more hype over the heart. And you think when they make it to the NFL, they will understand that their worth is more than drugs. Their worth is more than drinking and driving. Their worth is more than breaking the law. But no, they didn't understand their worth. They knew they were making millions of dollars, but guess what? They continued to make choices based on the hype. And so when a player gets caught with marijuana in their system the first time, they get suspended for 4 games. The second time, they get suspended for an entire year. The third time, you get kicked out of the league. And I had a lot of players that got caught. You would think that they will learn a lesson, because sometimes life will give you a second chance if you make better choices. But when you continue to make the same poor choice, poor choices lead to poor results. And it's unfortunate because they didn't know their worth. But do you know your worth? Do you know that you're worth it? Because actions follow beliefs. If you don't believe that you're worth it, you're going to act like you're not worth it by doing things that are not worth it. This thing right here, your education, is worth it. Because I no longer play football in the NFL, but guess what I get to do every day? I get to play by doing something I love to do. I realize my worth. This education gives you your worth. Drugs does not build your worth. Being disrespectful, breaking the law, not listening to the teachers, or going up on your Instagram or Snapchat and putting others down instead of building others up, that does not build up your worth by putting others down. It gives you a reputation, but chances turn into consequences when you don't focus on this and you're too busy doing things that are not worth it. You're worth it, students. You got something. You got this thing called game. And when you bring your A game every single day by giving 100%, you bring your A game by making choices that will help you, not hurt you, choices that will give you a chance to reach your full potential, not give you a consequence that will hurt your full potential. You win or lose by how you choose. Know that you're worth it. And don't do things that are not worth it. Because once you see where you're going, everything you do must correspond with where you're going, students. But last thing, and I'll let you guys go, because I want to take some pictures, because I want to show love that I was here in the house with my Cardinals and with my Cougars. Again, heart over hype. Hype can be negative. Hype can also give you consequences, but hype can also determine how you treat other people. You see, my son is mixed because I'm from Arkansas and my wife is from Nebraska, so that kind of makes them mixed, right? And so, you know, there's some things that, you know, my wife likes to do with my son that I'm like, you know, like, you know, when she takes him to get a haircut, it's all clean and it's all short, it's even. He's so cute. Me, I don't want him to be cute. I want him to be cool. So when I take him to get a haircut, he's getting a mohawk. I'll tell them to put some red dye or blue or purple because he's into Black Panther and stuff because I want him to be cool. My wife will go take him shopping, get him these little Skechers shoes so when you stump, rainbow colors go all over the place. That's so cute. I want him to be cool. So I'll get him some Converse, some J's, and with the different colors, and, you know, because I want my son to be cool. He's mixed because he got two pairs that are from different places, Arkansas and Nebraska. But my son is also mixed in another way. He's mixed because his father is black and his mom is white. And that means that for a while, a lot of people treated us differently because we were different. They treated me differently because I was different. They thought that my actions were based on the stereotypes of the hype. That maybe I was not going to be faithful to my wife, or do I do drugs, or is he a rapper, or is he just about football? Is he smart? Different stereotypes that we see, that we read, that we hear, that sometimes determine our beliefs. It determines how we treat other people. That's what the hype would do. It will be negative at times. It will at times make you do things that you think gives you worth, but it decreases your worth. It decreases your value, but it also determines how you treat other people. And a lot of people treated me differently based on the stereotypes of the hype. And it was tough. But the one thing that I chose to do is not to focus on the hype, not to feed off the hype, but to put my heart over the hype. Because I was unique. My wife is unique. And we fell in love because of each other's heart. I valued what was in her heart. She valued what was in my heart. She got to know me because she saw my heart. And the more that I worked on putting my heart over the hype by showing others that I am not the stereotype. I am the prototype. I am more than just a football player. I am an educator, an education person. I am a leader, not a follower. These things come by putting your heart over the hype. You cannot feed into the hype. Otherwise, if I was to be a part of the hype, how can I change the game when I'm playing the game? So I have changed the game, students, because my wife and I, we have two beautiful children, Lennox and Olivia. We are changing the game because even though the hype may say one thing, but I'm changing it by putting my heart in the game. by the importance of treating people not based on the hype, but based on their heart. And I want to challenge all of you, get to know people's heart. Yes, there are differences in this school, different backgrounds, different heights, different weights, different skin colors, different class ranks, different taste of music, different taste of clothing. But that should not give you a reason to treat people different. That's not leadership, students. And that definitely doesn't give you value when it comes to this game called life. We want you to be winners. But to be a winner, it also starts with how you treat everybody. You treat them with love. You treat them with respect. You get to know their heart. And you put your heart over the hype. And you use your will to get better, not to get by, to get the job won, not to get the job done. You use your muscle to build muscle in others, to help others, to be a lover. This is what makes you a lifter. It's when you lift others. It's when you support others. It's when you be a good teammate. You follow the rules. You respect those amazing teachers that work really, really hard to set you up to do something amazing. But you cannot be amazing if you don't have your education. So as we finish this semester, students, yes, some of you may be dropping the ball. Yes, some of you may be tired. Yes, some of you may be discouraged. But understand that winners never quit. Quitters never win. You got to be in it to win it. You got to be committed. Do what you say you're going to do. But most importantly, do it from the heart. So I want everybody to stand up with me. As we break this pep talk, as we break this huddle, we all have to have a game plan every single day. Every single day is a day I like to call game day. In football, for college, game days are normally played on Saturdays. NFL game day is normally on a Sunday. But I believe that whenever you have an opportunity to do something with your game in the classroom, with how you treat others, by building your leadership, by exercising how you treat others with kindness and respect, the way that you use your platform, the things that you show others, how you influence others, how you make others feel, how you fill people's bucket. Are you a bucket filler or are you a bucket spiller? These are all things that determine our leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with your height, your weight, where you come from, if you're a good talker. No, everyone has leadership. The difference is how you use it. But leadership is about one thing, students, one thing, influence. And if you can fill people's bucket with kindness, with your hard work, by including them, by getting to know their heart, not their clothes, not their skin color, not where they live, not how much money they have. No. We can all change the game, students. And my challenge is that we change the game together. Every single day is game day. Every single day is an opportunity for you to get better. Every single day is an opportunity for you to exercise your heart, put in more hard work. So with that, if every day is game day, it's game time. And I need for everybody to get in your huddle position like this. Put your hands on your knees like this. Oh, yeah. You see, back in the day, this is how we would break our huddle. I told you. This was not a school assembly. This was a pep talk. And my pep talk is done. But we got to break this huddle with some pride. We got to break this huddle like we're getting ready to do something. A lot of things have happened the first semester, but we can focus on what has happened or we can focus on what happens now. So put your hands on your knees like this. Second, put your game face on. Now, look around. Make sure everybody else got their game faces on. Look at those teachers. Make sure those teachers got their game faces on. All right. Now, here's what we're going to do. When I say, what time is it? You're going to say, game time. When I say, what time is it? You're going to say, game time. Now, here is where I want the love to be in this room. The first time when I say, who are we? I want you to say the Cardinals. When I say, who are we? I want you to say the Cougars. I'm going to say it again. Who are we? Cardinals. Who are we? Cougars. And then, that's when we're going to get quiet. That's when we're going to ball up our fists. We're going to get like this, tighten up our muscles. And on a slow 3-second count, we're going to go, ooh, game time. Because that's the attitude that we need to have to be resilient, to finish this school year, to take these tests, these assignments, to build our leadership, to build our character. So put your hands on your knees like this. Let's break this huddle. What time is it? What time is it? Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Ooh, game time! Thank you for the love, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. Well, man, I went over time. I'm going to give it back over to the principal. I would love to take some pics before you guys leave. I want to show you some love on my social media. Would love to take some pics. I know we got lunch. I hope that you can come down, show me some love. But at the end of the day, remember, guys, the best things in life are not things. Best things in life are people. Let's put our heart over the hype. Let's change the game with our love. Thank you very much.